Let's make a mushroom cheesesteak sandwich. Okay, to get started on this one, I have dried shiitakes. These are my preferred mushroom for this. They give a great texture and an amazing flavor. I have 8 of them. The exact amount is not crucial, but just know that you don't want too many because it'll overstuff your sandwich, and that's not a good thing. And I have some hot water here, about 2 cups. I'm just gonna drop them all in. What I'm trying to do is just hydrate them. It's very hot water. Just hydrate them so I can slice them. I also have some red bell pepper and some onion. Red bell pepper, green bell pepper, orange, whatever you like, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to slice these up. Just simple slices. Move all that to the side. Check out our mushrooms. They're still hot. Let me get something to get them out of there. You can cut these when they're dry still. I just have trouble with it, and I don't think I get as accurate a cut, if that makes any sense. So that's why I don't do it. By the way, do not throw out this water. We're going to be reusing that. See how it's colored? That's a good thing. And I'm just going to cut them into slices. They are still a little bit dry in the middle, and that's okay. But I can still cut them. They're hot. Basically, we're looking for 1/8-inch slices or so. You don't want it too thick because they are going to puff up a little bit as we cook them further. If you wanted to try to do this with fresh mushrooms, I suppose you could. I don't think the texture will be quite as nice though. Fresh mushrooms, you're going to want to start at about this phase. You're going to slice them up, and then you can continue doing it the exact same way that I'm going to do it for the dried, just they're fresh. They won't be quite as chewy. They won't have the same texture, but yeah, they could probably work too. Okay, so there are our mushrooms and our condiments. Let me move this to the side and we'll start cooking. Okay, so I got my cooktop, I got my cast iron pan, I have it on high. I'm gonna take that water that we reserved earlier and pour it back into the pan. And yes, I'm using all of it. Then I'm gonna throw our mushrooms back in there. Now the idea behind this, I call it the mushroom method. The idea is you are rehydrating them with water that has their own essence in there. And then all that water is going to cook down or boil away, leaving all the essence, but soaked right back into the mushrooms. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it actually works really, really well. I'm just going to put a pinch of salt in there with it, and we let them cook. And I just keep moving them around until most of the liquid is gone. And sorry for the steaming up, it's going to happen. Once we get really close to no water left, I'm going to add in a little bit of vegan butter. Probably just, I don't know, half a tablespoon or so. Maybe that's a tablespoon. Just adds a little bit of flavor, and it'll keep things from sticking. I'm also going to add in our peppers and onions at this time. Now, I still have the heat on high, but I am going to turn it down to about medium. I have it on 2.5. Remember, mine goes to 5. A little pinch more salt for those onions and peppers to start releasing some of their liquid. And of course, some fresh cracked black pepper. And we'll cook that for several more minutes. Okay, as all that liquid goes away, it'll start to color your onions a little bit. It'll start to color the peppers. That little bit of char is actually a good thing and adds a lot of flavor. So we're kind of looking for that, but I do keep it moving. I don't want things to stick and burn. For the cheese portion of the show, I'm going to be using Chow Creamery cheese. I love this stuff. It's a vegan cheese, but it tastes really, really amazing. I'm just going to use 1 slice. It does have a little bit of saturated fat, so I like to be a little careful with that. Now, this is a sandwich, so it goes on a bun. These came from Publix, but any sub roll will do. These look to be about 6 inches or so, maybe 6.5. I'm not traditional when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I'm going to cut it right across the top. That, to me, gives a little bit of a better cut. I'll just open it up, kind of press the sides in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just a little trick that I know is place it right on top. Gives a little bit of a steam to the bun, just softens it up a touch more. Okay, our bun is now steamed, nice and soft inside. And take these mushrooms here. Just kind of make a sandwich-shaped shape. Yeah, that makes sense. Just kind of make it shaped like your bun. I obviously have more than enough here for 1 sandwich. I'm going to take my cheese, break it in half, place one there and one there. That makes it just about the size of my bun. Now, vegan cheese doesn't melt real great unless you do one thing, and that is steam. So I'm going to take just a little bit of water, put it in the pan, pop a lid on it, give it like a minute or two. It'll be all perfectly melted. Back to that bun. Now, I am not a purist when it comes to cheesesteaks of any kind, but I do like ketchup on my cheesesteaks. So I'm just going to put some right onto the bun inside. That way I make sure to get some in every bite. Like that. All right, our cheese is nicely melted, and I know that there's a really slick way to get this into the bun. They do it in Philly. I am not that good, so I am just going to use a spatula and probably do this in 2 batches. Just get it in there. That's my theory on this. Get it in the bun. I want to make sure I get all of the cheese. I can always regroup it up and add more cheese to another batch if I wanted to, and make a little bit of a smaller sandwich. But I can also jam this in here a lot and add a little more. You can hear that sizzle. It is still cooking. We got some good color, nice browning. But at this point, I want to turn it off because over caramelization, also known as burning, not something I really want here. But there's our sandwich. Give me a second to take some photos, and I'll be right back to show you how it tastes. Okay, now comes a moment of truth for me. Can I actually cut this in half without it just making a huge mess? I'm going to try. So here we go. If it falls apart, just remember I did this for you. Looks really nice. Ah, that's gorgeous. So let's see, how does it taste? First, it is very hot. I mean, very hot. My mouth is on fire right now, and it's a little messy, but they're supposed to be messy. It's a cheesesteak. But it is actually really, really good. The flavors are coming through great. The texture of the mushrooms is actually pretty awesome. So all that mixed together works really, really well. I know it's not a traditional, authentic cheesesteak, but hey, it's a great way to use veggies and make an amazing sandwich. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.